Shalom to you, like giving all praise and honor, glory to you. How about Shem Shai, by Shem Kadosh, giving double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who well, peace and salutation to the hopeful elect, and of course, 144,000 prophets and the rest of the remnant of the believers, while our Israelites, whom the Lord is going to have mercy upon in these times. Shemel is a Mappa from the Great Millstone Plaintables Camp of Philadelphia. Just coming with this week's lesson. Ever hear fair use warning? You have it. U.S. Mint in Philadelphia presses last ever penny.
The last penny. History was struck at the U.S. Mint in Old City today.
NBC 10 looked on as the country's last ever pennies were struck there today. The change was made to save money and because you can't buy much anymore with 1-cent coins.
And that goes and proves a lot that this place is finished and through. Okay, because they've been telling you 1 cent can't even buy you much, but we have it where, that's a form of payment and such. Okay, but they're phasing out the use of physical money and such. All right, and if anybody is telling you that the MOTB is not a thing that won't come into fruition, which we know, of course, the MOTB being the C-HIP, all right, the micro C-HIP, and they got another thing coming, okay? Why would they phase out and even completely, like you have it where they press the very last penny, okay? That's heavy. Okay, and as the scriptures say, I'm just going to make this bad. Proverbs chapter 22 and 3. It says, a prudent man foreseeth the evil and hideth himself, but the simple pass on and are punished. And the simple, okay, those very foolish and naive people, going back to the Hebrew word patha, or the root, but pathaya, all right, and they're not going to regard the time in which we're in, okay, which all of the prophecies are leading towards, the MOTB, okay? Or you have the end of the use of, or using of usages of pennies and stuff, okay? Most people use cashless payments, and pennies, if you have pennies, sometimes people don't want all them pennies, but they are still useful, okay? This is Ecclesiastes chapter 8 and 6. I'm going to start at 5, actually. It says, whoso keepeth the commandment shall feel no evil thing. Which, of course, as we have the promises from the Yahweh Shemashah that he will preserve us in the hour of temptation. Okay, and if you have to be a martyr, be beheaded for Yahweh Shai Mashiach, your works follow you. But you have it where this could keep you from the judgment of Yahweh Bashem Shai, that transgression, all right? And a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment. Okay, so a wise man's heart discerneth both time and judgment, being that you can know, okay, the time, okay, all right, and judgment. Simple as that, okay? How you gonna know that? All right, you're gonna be able to discriminate between things, all right? It's by the prophecies, okay? The phasing out of, pennies, man, that's heavy, okay?
NBC 10's Aaron Baskerville is in Center City tonight, where he's finding coins are already becoming increasingly irrelevant. Are you going to give us your 2 cents, Aaron?
I might. Penny wise, pound foolish, right? Find a penny, pick it up all day long, you'll have good luck, right, Jackie? Well, you know, Philadelphia once again making history today. We're across the street from the U.S. Mint, like you said, where they made that last penny. Behind me, you can see there's a group here looking at the grave of Ben Franklin. It's always been tradition over here. We could sneak in and see one of those pennies over here. Folks, as a tradition, they throw pennies on his grave. So, of course, today we walked around talking to a whole bunch of people about the penny. We just wanted to know, how popular is the penny still? You guys still carry pennies?
Nope.
Do you have a penny? I'm looking for a penny. Pennies. Does anybody have a penny on them? Anybody have a penny on them? On the hunt for some pennies. We walked around City Hall in search of the coin. Can I get a penny? I just need a penny. Ah, thank you. Do you know why I'm asking you?
I don't.
Last penny's being made today in Philadelphia.
Are you serious?
Forever. 3, 2, 1. The U.S. Mint in Philadelphia made the very last penny today. The first one was made in 1793. Since it now costs more to make the coin than its value, the U.S. Treasury...
How does it cost more to make the coin than the coin itself? You know, going to show you about America and its loss, okay, of buying power, okay, the dollar, okay, down to the penny, all right? Different prophecies should be ringing to your heat if you are, all right, in the know with the prophecies. Revelation 6 should hit you in the heat, all right, to talk about a penny. But this is, you know, you got to obviously get the understanding. Revelation 6 and 5, it says, and when he had opened the third seal, I heard the third beast say, come and see. And I beheld, and lo, a black horse. And he that sat on him had a pair of balances in his hand. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny, and see thou hurt not the oil and the wine. Okay, the penny here represents, of course, the denarion, going, of course, to the denarius, going into the ordinary pay, you know, back for a day's wage back in Roman time, which we're in New Rome, okay? And you have it, and where, you know, it would take more, which just represent the inflation and the hyperinflation, you know, just to get so little, okay? But the loss of the buying power, you know, due to the amount of money in circulation. But this money has lost its value, okay? And ultimately, you see it, they come in with the digital system, okay?
Department decided there's no need to strike them anymore.
It made up around 44% of our production for the last 15 years, so it's an emotional day. I think everybody's going to feel that.
So, of course, the next...
So 44% of production is now been reduced because they're not making pennies anymore, okay?
44% of our production for the last 15 years, so it's an emotional day. I think everybody's going to feel that.
So, of course, the next question is, will your favorite penny saying go away? How about penny for your thoughts, penny wise, pound foolish? Man, that sure cost a pretty penny. Those are some of the sayings that folks used to say. Then, of course, we're talking about when the penny was first made in 1793. That penny could get you stuff like a candle, a piece of candy. And then 1920, that same penny could also get you a loaf of bread or a newspaper. Guess what? Boom. There you go. A couple more pennies for you. We also went to Old City to see if customers are still using the coin. People come in trying to use this to pay for anything?
That's, no,
Do you know-
not in a long time.
You know why I'm asking for?
Because
No.
I know, no more pennies.
What do you think of that?
That's great. They're a nuisance.
Around the corner at Artist and
So
Crafts.
you see the people are, geared up for what is to be. Okay, they've been conditioned to it. All right, and as the scriptures do tell us, and Second Corinthians, right, 2:11. Least Satan, which is obviously, if you don't know by now, the enemy is Shaitan, all right, who is wheat, okay? The elite of them, the banking families, go back to Adawam or Edom, okay? Modern day, what? Jules, right? Re is what? Is Edom. It says, least Shaitan should get an advantage of us, for we are not ignorant of his devices, and we understand the plot, all right? Phase out, obviously, all of these different physical notes and come with the digital, all right? And come with that being put within people's bodies, which we know about the MOTB.
A jar with coins. They still take them and use them. Do people still come in with like their pennies and try and pay for something with a penny?
Sometimes, like, yeah, a little change bag, like, hold on, we got a couple pennies in here.
Hey man, you got to go into that store and count out your pennies, right? Make sure you have enough. Once again, looking at a tradition that hopefully will stay around for a while as folks come and visit Ben Franklin's grave and throw pennies over there. A penny saved, a penny
So
earned.
So we understand, man, what type time we in right now. We at the end for show. All right. So, hey, hopefully you've been edified by the lesson. Hey, the scripture talk about better is the end of the thing than the beginning thereof. All right. So, we look forward to, this place being completely, wiped clean from the rulership, and the Lord redeeming his elect. Shalom to you elect.